learning how. Today we're learning about Ludwig van Beethoven. He was born in 1770 and died in 1827, and he is from Germany. Beethoven was first taught by his father. He was his first music teacher, and his dad was harsh and intense. And later, Beethoven took music lessons by Christian Neef. When Beethoven was about 30 years old, he began going deaf, which means he could not hear. And he wrote most of his best pieces of work while he was deaf. Beethoven is considered one of the greatest composers in history and is most famous for his symphonies. During this time in history, in 1803, the Louisiana Purchase from France, America purchased Louisiana, that whole territory, and the War of 1812 began in 1812. From Beethoven, he said, "To play a wrong note is insignificant. To play without passion is inexcusable." The first song that we're going to learn from Beethoven is called the Ninth Symphony, second movement, Molto Vivace. We are going to listen to the second movement. And you may remember we listened to the fourth movement during our Greatest Works Tour Year 1. So if you go back and listen to that one, we listen to the fourth movement. Today we're listening to the second movement. This is Beethoven's last symphony and is written sometime between 1822 and 1824. It is widely viewed as one of the greatest musical works ever and is one of the most performed symphonies in the world. This is one of the first times that a major conductor wrote a symphony using a choir. The keyword that we are going to learn are crescendo and decrescendo. Crescendo means to gradually increase in volume. You can hear that in this piece. Decrescendo means to gradually decrease volume. So crescendo, right here, gradually increasing. Decrescendo, gradually decreasing in volume. So what do you think? How do you think Beethoven uses crescendos and decrescendos during this piece? And also he uses rests, which are pauses, during this movement as well. The second song that we're going to learn from Beethoven is called Minuet in G. This minuet was originally written for an orchestra, but now it is mostly performed by piano or other solo instrument. This minuet was famously part of the think method of playing in the musical The Music Man. So if you see the musical The Music Man, you'll see this piece. The word minuet is our keyword that we're going to study. It's a French social dance using small steps. So do you think you've heard this before? Let's fast forward a tiny little bit to see if you thought you've heard it. Do you think that you've heard this before? The next song that we're going to say from Beethoven is called Fifth Symphony, first movement. And I bet you've heard this song. It is widely popular. This was composed from 1804 to 1808, and it was just 3 years after Beethoven announced that his hearing loss was getting worse. So he wrote this as he announced just 3 years before that his hearing was getting worse. Like I said before, it's one of the best known and most played symphonies in history. It's a great piece. So the premiere of this piece was conducted by Beethoven, and his Sixth Symphony was also played the same night. So the night that he said, "Hey, this is my new song," he also played his other new song, which was the Sixth Symphony. So it was really great that he was able to release both those pieces at the same time. A premiere is the very first performance of a piece of music or play. So it's kind of like his debut of the piece. So premiere is the very first performance of a piece of music or play. The fourth and final song that we are going to listen is called the Fifth Symphony, fourth movement. So typically when a symphony starts off in a minor key, like it does in here, the Fifth Symphony, it ends in a minor key. But Beethoven did something totally different during this piece. He ends it in a major key. And to explain this, Beethoven said, joy follows sorrow, sunshine, rain. So he's saying that the minor key makes it sound kind of like sad, and he's saying maybe sorrowful, but he's saying that it's ending on a joyful note. That's why it's ending on a major key. The instrument that we are going to be learning about during this piece is called the violin. Many of us have been introduced to a violin, maybe in person. And if you have not, I encourage you to try to see one in person. They're beautiful instruments. They are just remarkable. So a violin is a treble string instrument played with a bow. I'm going to attach a link to a video about showing you how a violin is made, because that is very interesting. If you get a chance, we're going to try to see in class, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to, so we will try. I'm not sure if we're able to. If we're not, you can check out the video, because it is really cool to see how a violin is made. This week, for learning how, for our activity that we're going to do, we are going to try to learn the minuet. And so since the minuet in G is like a social standing dance, is something if you were in high society, you learned how to dance the minuet. So we're going to try to learn how to dance the minuet also. And then also after that project, that little activity, we are going to decorate our own Christmas ornaments. We have got different type of ornaments. You can choose one to decorate because Beethoven was from Germany. And if you remember from some of the German facts we read, their first Christmas tree was originally from Germany. So the Germans said, hey, let's bring in some trees from outside and decorate them. So we are going to create some ornaments to decorate our German-inspired Christmas tree.
Our channel and give us a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can hear new sections. So stay tuned. See you guys later. Bye!
Bye! And you can see our lovely Christmas village that James set up that used to be my late grandmother's.